This is Scott the Fix-It Guide. Today we're dealing with the Bosch condensing dryer, and this one is not pumping out the water. So this kind of machine actually collects moisture inside of it in a sump area, and then it pumps it out. So this is the condensation filter. We remove the door, we remove the front housing. Here's the filter. We're going to pull that out and clean it underneath the sink. We get all the dirt out of there by just running it underneath some hot water. But the pump itself, which is located inside the sump well to the left, is not doing its job. When I turn it on, I know there's water caught in the sump, but it's not getting rid of it. I can feel to the left, I can feel where the pump is, and there's a little plastic tab that I can lift up on, which is the float. When I reach all the way to the top, it should activate the pump and get rid of the water, but that's not happening. So there might be a clog in the little tube that carries the water out of the dryer. I'm going to try to fix that, and also I'm going to check the the pump itself to see if it might have a bunch of lint clogged in it, or if the pump is just not working. So I turned it back off. Here's that little tube. I wiped it off, and I'm going to just blow in there real hard. So I can hear that air. I can hear it gurgling. I can hear it moving. So I know that tube is not clogged. So make sure you wipe it off so it's clean, and then just blow through there really hard, and you should be able to clear the obstruction that way. If you don't hear air moving, you don't hear the gurgling, it's still clogged, and you're going to need to clean that tube better. But this tube is certainly clear. So it still seems like it's not getting rid of the water. So I'm going to do a little bit more work here. I'm going to unplug it, move it away from the wall, and now I'm going to remove these screws that hold on the top plate. I'll remove the top plate, and I'm actually going to remove the right side plate, if you're looking at it from the back, or if you look at it from the front, the left side plate. And it's held in with some screws in the back, and there's one screw on the bottom that I'm going to remove too that holds on that side panel. I think these are all Torx 15 screws. If I can get the side panel off, I have really good access to the pump. And if you have some room around you when you're doing this, it's pretty easy to do. Sometimes these are in a closet. It's really tough. You'd have to get the whole unit out of the closet. In this case, we had a lot of room around me. So I'm just removing all those screws, and then I'm going to be removing the pump itself. Here is the pump. And I'm just cleaning it off underneath the sink. I've removed a couple of electrical modular connectors that were holding it on, and there was one screw holding it down. I removed those, and it had a little protective case above it. I removed that, and I'm going to just be working with the pump here to see if I can make sure the little float will be able to move up and down. If the float is stuck or jammed with lint or dirt, it won't be able to turn on the pump itself. So I have to pull out the little float itself, which has a magnet at the top, and make sure that's all clean in there. I'm also going to remove the impeller cover and make sure there's no junk caught in the impeller. So the impeller is like the little propeller thing that spins. It has a little plastic case over it that you can gently pry up on the tabs, and you can remove that impeller cover and just make sure that the impeller is clear and it can spin easily. It's pretty rare that these pumps burn out where the motor just stops working. That is possible, and then you can just buy a new pump. But usually it's just a matter of cleaning either the float that goes up and down that activates the pump, or maybe one of the electrical connectors, or maybe there's a clog with the impeller, or there's a clog with the water leaving the pump through the tube. So we're just going to make sure that all that is clean. There's also this little switch at the top. I'm going to pry it back. This is the reed switch that's activated by the magnet. I'm just going to look at it, make sure it's okay, it's not corroded. So it looks dry. It looks like it never got wet. It's doing fine. I'm going to put it back in. When I put all this back together, the pump did work. I think it was probably just something clogging the tube itself. So now I'm using a turkey baster just to remove all the dirty water that was stuck in the sump. And then I'm going to wipe down the sump with some paper towels to get rid of all the kind of wet, dirty lint that builds up in there. It's almost like a mud that clogs up the whole works. So I'm going to remove all that. Usually what happens is water builds up in the sump from the dryer doing its condensation. That activates the float. The float activates the pump, and the pump pumps out all that water. But if the pump's not working, that water just builds up, and you might get an error code, or the dryer may just kind of overfill with water. It might actually kind of leak out the front. So I'm using the paper towels to get rid of all that remaining water, and also to get rid of mainly the little bit of lint that accumulates in there. And no matter how much you clean the filter, these things tend to still accumulate lint over the years. With the side panel pushed out of the way, it's pretty easy to get to all this area. You don't have to really remove the front of this side panel. You can just remove the one bottom screw and the back screws and just kind of push it out of the way. So I'm putting the pump back in, and I'm putting the little tube back into position that carries the water out. And then there's two electrical modular connectors. I'm going to snap those back in and make sure that they're really seated fully down so that the pump has power, and also it has an ability to sense when water is building up. So I got everything back into position. And I'm going to give it a little test to plug it in. I'm going to get a little water inside the sump to see if it'll activate the float. So it won't really go in well from the front, but I can actually go around and pour some into the sump from the side. Pour some right in here. And then when I start it up, that should activate the float, and that should activate the pump. So we got it started up, and we got some nice action there. There we go. So it's definitely pumping water out. So I think I just got rid of whatever was clogging it. So that's what's supposed to happen. It's supposed to sense that there's water in the sump, and it's supposed to kick in the motor, and the motor will kick out the water. Usually this water goes through this tube and then into the same drain hole in your wall that the water drains out of your washing machine. It's actually the same exact hole. So I'm just playing with the little float switch there to my left. I can activate that with my left hand. So it seems like it's doing good. So now I've got it elevated, and just making sure that that wasn't just gravity, but the pump is actually pushing the water up above ground level. So that's definitely not a gravity feed, that's definitely the pump. So we know we got it cured. I just want to do all that testing before I do the reassembly. It's definitely working though. That's great. So we don't need a new pump, just needed a little bit of cleaning. So we're just going to put this little cover back on. This is not a vital thing. This just kind of encapsulates the pump, protects it. So this has got a modular connector in the back that you just push down on, and then the front, it has one little screw that holds the cover down. I think it's a Torx 15. These are pretty good dryers. They last a long time, and you don't need a vent. You can do these without a vent. A lot of people use them in apartment buildings. Just got to keep them, got to clean the condensation, the condenser filter probably once every couple of weeks, get all the lint out. And every now and then you might have to clean the pump like this. This might be every 2 or 3 years. So we're just getting that side panel back into position. I'm making sure the bottom is going to just snap back into position. And I'll put one little screw there in the bottom. You can kind of see it where that screw goes. So I'm going to feed it right in there. Push up a little bit on the panel so it can feed in above that gray plastic. There we go. Okay, now I can put the screw in to hold it. There's a Torx 15. Zip that in, and then there's about 5, I think, screws that go on the back of the side panel to hold it in. There's, I believe, 2 or 3 at the bottom that are designed to go into plastic. They have more of an aggressive thread. And then the ones that go near the top of the side panel, they're going into metal, and they have more of a machine, finer thread. So the screws are a little bit different. You can see the ones in the bottom are going into like a gray plastic, and then the ones that are going in higher are going into metal. So we're just putting all those screws back in the back panel. Sped up the camera here a little bit. And we'll put one here at the top. Zip that in. And one on the top and the front. And then the side panel's all secure. That's done. And now we can put the top panel back on. Top panel slides in toward the front, and then there's 2 screws on the back that hold that on. Back right and back left hand corner. There we go. And I did have to kind of disconnect the dryer from the washer to get to that one little screw on the bottom of the side panel. So I'm pushing the washing machine back into position. So just pushing in these little plastic clips, they just lock into position and they hold in the front feet so the washing machine won't move forward. And I'm just putting in a little water into the sump to do one more test. Oh, and there's also, after we put in those 2 plugs, there's like a trim piece that you slip in that goes between the washing machine and the dryer. Just a nice, it's mainly just a nice aesthetic piece. Okay, we turn it on. Let's see if it's going to drain the water. Yep. That's great. So we're going to put the drain tube back into the wall. I like to pull out the washing machine drain tube and then put them in together. Just make sure that you really seat these in so they're fully down. So thanks so much for watching, and please subscribe when you get a chance.